Welcome to Maule 222 Tango Foxtrot. The plane in which you are sitting is an M7 super rocket and has a dizzying array of knobs, buttons, levers, pedals, and displays. You should pay very close attention to all of them, but touch none of them. Seriously, don't touch anything. Occasionally, you'll hear things in your headset other than my lovely voice. This might be conversation from others in the plane. It might also be the disembodied voices of air traffic controllers or pilots on other planes. You can help by being quiet if you hear them too. This will help your pilot distinguish the voices in his head from those on the radio. You may occasionally hear beeping and other noises in your headset. As a good rule of thumb, if you hear anything that makes you nervous, glance over and see if your pilot is still there. If he is, things are probably fine, but feel free to ask questions. For bonus points, give answers and see if your pilot can guess the question. During the second half of the flight, we play Double Jeopardy, and all of the dollar values are doubled. There are typically 2 doors in the front row, 1 on each side of the airplane, and 2 doors in the rear on the right. While this airplane is certified to operate with any single door removed, any doors attached to the plane at the beginning of the flight should be left closed until we're safely parked at the end of the flight. In case of an emergency, use any door you can in any fashion you need. They are replaceable. By now, you should have your seatbelt on. If it's uncomfortable, perhaps it's because you're sitting on it. Put it on. Make sure the lap belt is low and snug. Or don't. At this point in your life, if you don't know how to use a seatbelt, then you probably shouldn't be walking around in public. While your comfort may not be the most important thing on this flight, it's probably in the top 10. Let your pilot know if you're too hot or too cold. He can open windows or light campfires as necessary. Small planes move differently than big ones. Depending on the weather, in today's flight, you might get a little queasy. Let your pilot know if this happens. If you've behaved during the flight, then he will land more quickly and you can take a break. If you haven't behaved, he'll open a can of blue cheese and asparagus casserole. Karma, just one of the services offered on our flight today. Takeoff and landing are critical phases of flight. They're the phases more likely to be bumpy, and they're the most unfamiliar to people who haven't been in a small plane before. If that makes you nervous enough to change your mind, I already told you where the doors are. Please remember to remove your seatbelt first. If you're going to stay, please be quiet during these phases of flight so your pilot can hear radio transmissions. Still here? Great! Sit back, take a cleansing breath, and let's go flying. Your pilot will take things from here. Thank you for flying Maule 222 Tango Foxtrot.